right, let's go to the first one. I'm looking at the agenda and it says concerns regarding the method of selecting the proposed site for the fire station. And, okay, so let's start with that one. I think I raised this concern at the off-site meeting back in February, and I think I got a pretty good answer from the council and from the chiefs. If I remember correctly, last year the proposal was that the new fire station public safety buildings would be across the street. Am I pointing in the right direction? This way, sorry. To the east and north of us across First East. And part of that was because it fit into what was considered a downtown master plan. Is that the right word, Ken?
Civic Center.
Civic Center plan, thank you. Which had previously been adopted by council at some time in the past. Okay, so I'm getting head nods. The question was, somebody asked when. Okay, when? Do you remember when that would have been adopted, Ken?
To be honest, I don't know that there was a formal ordinance or amending the plan or anything that went forward in that way. There were discussions that came forward, and it was like, okay, do you like A or do you like B? And we're kind of, yeah, we like B.
Could you go research, not right away, but can you research whether there was a formal adoption? Did you have a comment, Tina?
I think there was, because we developed a civic center plan showing buildings as option A and option B. We had a public meeting where the public was invited. We had another meeting where the council moved blocks on a table of where they wanted buildings.
So without getting too far down the weeds on that one, I think there's a date when it was actually adopted. But let's let Ken go ahead and get that for us. So we're back to this off-site meeting where the city council gets together and discusses the priorities for the year. The proposal from last year is that the property for the new facility is going to be across the street. There's insufficient property to go forward and complete the whole project. And the discussion is, how many of us are married to this downtown civic center plan such that the new facilities have to be located there? And it was kind of quiet, and I turned to the chiefs. I don't remember if this is the right order, but I turned to the chiefs, and both of them said, no, that is probably not the best location for this facility. I came back to the council, and all of the council said, no, we're really not married to the 4-block plan as far as where the buildings go. So there was some concern right up front about, is that the right location for the facility, even though we had spent money and purchased the property. So then I think part of that discussion was also, well, can we get rid of that property then? Can we turn around and sell that property? And that's when the other question came up about, well, if we've adopted a downtown master plan or a civic center plan, and this has been adopted by either an ordinance or a resolution, you're kind of locked in a little bit. You have to go reverse that process before you can get rid of lands. The other thing that was brought up was the monies that were used to purchase the properties on the northeast side of the block were public safety impact fees. And you can't just use the right words. The only way to do this was if you were going to sell those properties, that the money would go back into the public safety impact fund and then be used on public safety kinds of things. So that valid idea, sell the land and use the funds towards the project. It was brought up, and she's not here. I'm not going to point at someone that's not in the room. It was brought up that there is. Why are we making a decision so quickly? Hang on, Steve. Why are we making decisions so quickly to dispose of lands if, in fact, at some point in the future, the citizens as a whole would want to use that for park space or something else in a downtown plan? And I think that was tabled from the rest of the discussions through the year. It was brought up in some of the meetings that we had, either as steering committee. I don't remember if it was brought up at Blue Room Committee. It was brought up in the neighborhood meetings. But at no time did we go back and readdress, okay, we are going to sell that land, take the money, and move it to this project. Instead, we turned to Dean and said, can we take monies from Parks and Rec, reimburse the public safety impact fee fund for those properties, and use that money towards the project. Is that correct?
Yeah, we could use other monies to kind of buy it from the public.
We talked Parks and Rec and General Fund reserves.
All right. So proposed site for the fire station, all right? So that addresses the old plan from 2013 as to where the fire station was going to be. And then we brought MOCA in and went through a different process of selection, identifying all properties in the city that the city currently owned, and went through a process that way. Steve, did you have a comment?
Was there a proposed budget, and I think there was in one or both of the minute meetings, you know what that was for the overall?
Project. At that point, I don't think there was any budget.
We had a cost estimate from BCBO.
Pardon me?
We had a cost estimate from BCBO on the
Oh, last year? Is that what you're asking?
on our civic center plan.
The whole project, yeah, the whole.
Yeah, the whole 4 blocks.
Yeah,
What
it was
the
about
number?
$70 million.
70 million?
Yeah, and that was new police station, new fire station, new library, performing arts center, and a new city hall. And the purchase of land and all that. So it was just an estimate, so we kind of knew what we had in front of us if that's what we wanted to pursue.
Does that answer the question?
Thank you.